1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Banjo Land, Mike Henning here, coming to you today with the classic gospel song, This World Is Not My Home, in the key of A. I really love gospel music, but whether you like gospel music or not, I find these gospel melodies are really, really good for learning Scruggs-style banjo. If you like Earl Scruggs, J.D. Crowe, kind of that classic, strong melody, forward roll-driven banjo style that, again, Earl Scruggs and J.D. Crowe are known for, learning gospel melodies and playing them in this style is so valuable. This is one of the things that helped me get this style of banjo playing down, was learning a bunch of gospel tunes. That's what we're going to do for this song. We're going to learn 2 solos, again, staying really close to the melody, but creating subtle variations, kind of indicative of Scruggs style, creating those really subtle variations to where you still hear the melody, but you're not playing it the same way every time. Easier said than done, and this lesson will be a great one to help you develop that. I'll break down both the solos note for note, just as I played at the beginning of the lesson, and then we'll do a backup lesson, again, how to kind of, once we've learned the melody and how to play the solo, how to now stay away from the melody while playing backup. We'll break that down in the backup section. All right, here's This World Is Not My Home in the key of A. Let's jump into it. Here we go. All right, so let's start breaking down this first solo to This World Is Not My Home. Remember, I've got my capo on the 2nd fret. I've got my 5th string tuned up to A. So we're going to be thinking in the key of G, but sound in the key of A. Let's break down like the first 5 measures. That's kind of like the opening phrase of the melody, and then we'll move on from there. Here we go. Do that a few times. I'll do it really slow. Faster. Okay, so we're going to start with a really classic pickup, and I'll show you a simpler way to do this if you want an easier way, but this is as written. We're going to play on the and of beat 1, so I would count, if you're going to start the song, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then we're going to pinch strings 3 and 1 with our index and middle fingers of our right hand on and, so 1 and then hit the open 4 string, and then an open 2 hammer on the 4 string, and then 3rd string open. So I'm doing that pinch, index and middle, and then thumb 3 times in a row. So 1, 1. And if you want an easier way to do it, take out the pinch and just play. A really easy way would just play open 4 string on beat 2, 2nd fret, skip the hammer on, and then open 3rd string. So you'd have 1, like that would also work. Or if you want to do the hammer on, take out the pinch. Like that offbeat pinch is probably the trickiest part, but again, it's a very classic, like J.D. Crowe style way to do a pickup. So that's what we're doing. Then we're going to go into a classic Scruggs lick, 2-4 slide on the 3rd string with a forward reverse roll. Coming back down with a pull off. Very classic lick. If you ever heard like the song Your Love Is Like a Flower, a lot of songs use this lick. So we slide up, do thumb, index, middle with your right hand, 5th string, then backwards, and then a 3-2 pull off. I'm really thinking of pulling back toward my palm there and snapping that pull off. You'll see the pull off happens a little bit before that last middle finger. I wouldn't worry too much about that. I would just work on getting the right hand really solid. But if you do it at the same exact time, it's not not the end of the world. Just work on getting the timing of your right hand. That's your rhythm. And then the left hand, you will kind of make it work. But yeah, sometimes that little snappier pull-off sounds cool. And then we're landing on the open third string of the next measure, measure 3. So we have... I also recommend not sliding too quick. Get a little bit of that first note. And another classic lick, 2-5 slide on the 4th string. So a lot of classic Scruggs material here. So we hit the open 3rd string in measure 3. Then go down to the 4th string, do a 2-5 slide with a forward roll TIM, strings 4-3-1, and then 5-3-1. So the melody is kind of like... And that's kind of what we're playing there. And we're just playing that with more of like a lick. Let's add the pickup 1. A C chord, and we're going to play the 2nd fret on the 3rd string, which isn't necessarily in the C chord, but it's another melody note you can use for C. That's our starting melody note. We're going to play that note with our thumb of our right hand, middle finger of our left hand, and then take it off and do like a forward roll TIM, back to the index finger of your right hand on the open 3rd string, move your middle finger down to the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and play thumb middle. So you have... just kind of like a fill, open 4 string, and then forward roll, back to the index finger, and then 4th string again. So the melody is kind of, like I said, like... So that's kind of like the basic melody. Next measure, actually let's play that one more time. So we have from the pickup. I'll kind of accent my thumb in measure 5. Accent that 4 string, so 2-5 slide, same lick, just starting with the slide. So thumb, index, middle, 4-3-1, 5-3-1. And then our thumb of our right hand comes down and hits the open 2nd string. Another good lick to practice kind of like your accents. We have... And then 2-3 hammer on the 2nd string. Again, start with your thumb, middle. Actually, let's put 6 and 7 together. That's like a good measure to practice your accents. We have... Count there is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and really get that open 2nd string to ring out and be accented. I also kind of accent the start of that hammer on in measure 7. That's also why we're using your thumb of your right hand can help. That's a common rule in Scruggs style is if you can use your thumb, you should, right? So instead of doing this, like playing that open 2nd string with your middle or index finger, and then starting that hammer on with your index finger, you technically could, but a common Scruggs rule is like if you can use your thumb, you should. It just gives it a little more accent and power. And the melody there is just we're kind of just sliding up. And then this time, this next measure, we're going to go to an A chord, the 2 chord, and then 5. Sometimes you won't add that 2 chord. I've seen it both ways, but I think it's just nice. It also just gives you a little variation. It kind of makes it sound a little more gospel. So that's the "If Heaven's Not My Home, Oh Lord, What Will I Do" part of the lyrics, if you're familiar with the song. So what I do in measure 8 is I hit my open second string with my thumb, again in my right hand. And then right here I'll show you 2 ways. I personally like just using all 3 fingers and doing this A. Instead of, you can bar it like this. And then you have to quick turn your hand to go to a D, like a 1-finger D chord. Personally, for me, I think it's also because I have a radius fingerboard. It's easier to do it this way. And then just take off those other 2 fingers, and then I'm right there. I don't know, for me, doing the bar, you have to kind of like tilt your hand more, and I get more clunky notes, or sometimes I bend that note up on accident. So I found it was easier to just do it 3 fingers, but try it both ways and see what you like. So measure 8 is open second string, and then 2 4 rolls on that A chord. So you have, and then take your other 2 fingers off and just play a 1-finger D, and then 4 3 1 3 4 1, like just a little partial roll. Actually, let's do 6 through 9. That's like kind of the best way to hear the melody. So we have, here comes the A chord. And then I'm using those open D strings to help spell out that harmony of those chords, right? So that's kind of what we're doing there. If you didn't want to add that chord, you could just play like a G, basically like something like that, where you kind of play that open second string and then maybe just roll like open and then go to the D. But I think that A chord, 2 chord sounds nice there. So we have, again, a little faster.